Hi everybody, this is Emily from Fibertown. I have promised a spindling video, so here I am. In my kitchen, still paint probably on me somewhere, and there we go. With my broom and dustpan over here. But I was thinking if I don't do this, it's not going to happen. So here I am, supported spindling the way I do it. Disclaimer, this is the way I do it. It is not necessarily the expert way, but I get great yarn, so here we go. Let me show you what I'm holding today. This is sort of a modified Tibetan spindle by Erin Makes Stuff. I won this in Nashville at SSK as a door prize, and I'm thrilled. It's lovely, so I'm going to spindle with it today, really probably for the second time. I also have a spindle bowl made by the Spanish Peacock. So this is not necessary, but I love it. You just sort of pop it between your legs, and it's a nice place for your spindle to rest. In the case of no spindle bowl, there are things you can do. You can spin in the groove of your table where there's a leaf, and it just sort of keeps the spindle stationary a bit. You can also spin in a pinch. This is my iPhone, in the little place where the camera lens is. Now I won't say that this won't potentially damage your camera lens. Mine's fine. This is wood, not metal. You know, I wouldn't use a sharp metal like some of the other spindles I have. What's it called? Oh goodness, a Mistral by Hip Strings, and it's oh gosh, a Tockley, and it's carbon fiber. It's sharp. So, disclaimer. I also have fiber. This is a bit of a hobbledehoy battling. It's probably just merino bamboo, that kind of thing. Yeah, I see some bamboo in here. Traditionally supported spindling is for woolen style. So that implies two things. It implies your preparation and it implies your spinning style. This is a puni. Ginger of Absolute Wonder gave this to me. It's a leftover Gourmet Stash puni. So it's a bit old. This Gourmet Stash is no longer in business, sadly. So it's a bit felted, but a puni can be made on hand cards. There we go. And I'm just going to pre-draft it a little bit, attenuate it a bit, which you don't have to do with a fresh puni. They're lovely to spin with. Roll-ogs are also a good option for woolen style spinning. The fibers are disorganized. They're not aligned like in combed top. So you can just use one hand to spin them. So that's the other part of woolen style spinning. It is the drafting method. And this is ideal for supported spindling because you're working your spindle with one hand and you're drafting with the other. Now, my style is to do a bit of a supported long draw with a spindle, and you'll see how that works in a minute. So I am just going to, you're not going to see my face for a while. I am just going to flick my spindle. When you're spinning, you're going to want to, to get twist into your fiber, you're going to want your spindle vertical. But I tend to, and I have butterfingers today, I tend to spin mine a little bit at an angle, but I recommend beginners work on doing it vertically. So yeah, just getting the feel of this spindle, and again, here's my spindle bowl between my legs, and I'm spinning it clockwise, Z. There is a divot in this bowl. I'm just feeling around for where this spindle wants to go. This is, made for Spanish Peacock spindles, so it's a bit different. So I'll tell you a little bit about my history of supported spindling. It was one spinning style that I could not figure out for myself. I would watch videos on YouTube, and really I found that there were demonstrations, but none that explained what was happening. So I watched Flegel spindle. Oh, there's Alice. It's her dinner time, so she might be crunching on her kibble. But really, it was something that I couldn't do successfully until I took a class with the Spanish peahen, which is Mike's wife. And, I was not super good at it, but I got twist into the fiber, which is the definition of spinning yarn. You know, that's a very basic definition, but anyway, so I practiced, and it is sort of a daily practice thing if you're going to get good at it. So this is very weird, me talking and you not seeing my face, so let me spindle some more. All right, so I'm just going to sort of stab my fiber onto the tip of the spindle. No special way to do this. And I sort of draft it out a little bit and push it down a wee bit to start my leader. Then I'm going to want things vertical. Now I'm flicking and spinning off the tip. All right, so I'm going to spin the way I have been spinning, keeping things vertical. Starting to get a little twist in there. I'm going to draft out a wee bit more. You can see I'm getting twist. Drafting out, drafting out. Now, here I go. I'm going to actually do this. See if I can find a happy medium here. I do not have my camera person as I thought I would because he's out of town. He's in New York City. I could use my almost 9-year-old camera person, but I think he'd get very bored. All right, so I'm spinning vertical, I'm drafting, I'm seeing where the twist wants to stop. Let me see. This is a very delicate balancing act. So you know what's happening down here. The spindle's spinning in the bowl. Okay, I've got a nice leader. So I've just been spinning vertically, spinning clockwise, Z direction, and if you have a hard time getting your leader going, you can sort of hold your fiber and pinch it next to your tip as you spin. All right, so what I'm going to do next is push this down a wee bit. This is going to be the location of the permanent cup. And I just sort of, oh, there's some paint on my knee. Just sort of wind this on. I'm going to leave a little bit to come up here. So you're going to have, I still have more twist in here. I'm going to draft out some more. And see, you can also just spin on your knee, on your leg. But I'll be good and I'll spin it right here. So the second cup, your temporary cup, is going to be closer to the tip of the spindle. And see, I don't know if you noticed, but I do use two hands. Once I get my spindle going, I can sort of cradle it in the crook of this hand and do a supported long draw where I'm spinning, pinching, and drafting. And the lovely thing about supported spindling is that you can just sort of, here I am in a kitchen chair, but the ideal place to supported spindle is a comfy chair, an armchair on your couch while you binge watch some Netflix show, on an airplane, in a car. I have supported spindled on a mountain, so it's really ideal for travel. And I love it. I just find it much more relaxing than drop spindling. It's sort of in a contained space. You're not having to, stand up and get your maximum drop height that you can because you can let the spindle go longer. All right, so I'm spindling quite thick. That's okay. I like thicker yarns. You can use, for example, a Russian, and I didn't bring all of my spindles, but I would say my Russian spindle or my bead whirl, my African bead whirl, probably my fastest. And the Russian spindles are designed to spin for those Orenburg lace shawls where it's a mohair. It's not really a cashmere, but it's like a Russian mohair. So very, very thin. Taklis are meant for spinning cotton. Super short staples, so also can spin very fast, therefore very thin. You can spin very thin with this too. I'm just not. Okay. Somebody keeps texting me. So what I'm doing now is this isn't really full up here, the temporary cup, but you're eventually going to get this, so there won't be enough space to flick comfortably. And you're going to want to move this down. So what you do, hold your hand out, actually, like this, and you butterfly this right off. So it comes off the temporary cup and you're just going to move it down. to this one. So I like to just sort of hold it out here and wind on. Now I'm sure there are artful ways to wind on cops. I'm not a very pretty cop winder, but it's serviceable, doesn't unbalance the spindle the way I do it. I go for kind of an oval shape, ovoid perhaps, since it's 3D. Sounds like the police are coming because I'm spindling incorrectly. Can you hear that? There are sirens if you can't hear them. Hopefully everyone's okay. All right, so I've moved my fiber down here and I'm going to sort of snake it back up the spindle and I'm going to spin again. If you cannot, you have to be comfortable with letting twist into your fiber. See, and sometimes when you do that, when you're spinning woolen, you get a slub. I don't mind these, but if you mind them, untwist them with your fingers and draft them out a wee bit. Let the twist back in. Much better. If you, oh look, there's still a slub in there. Oh well. There we go. Put some more twist in there if you need it, and start a new temporary cup right up here. All right, what else do I want to tell you? If you cannot get your leader started by spinning vertically, pinching your fiber source against your tip and then flicking, that should do it. But if that's hard, because, you know, I was there, I could not get twist into my fiber to save my life until I went to see the Spanish peahen. And then it was like a miracle. Yay, fiber twist. It wasn't pretty, but it was functional. If that's still very hard for you, you can do a half, not a half hitch. Oh goodness, what is that knot called? You know how you start a leader on a bobbin of a spinning wheel? There's a word for that, and I can't think of it. But you tie that you tie a leader on basically on your spindle, put it down here, maybe tie a loop up here, put your fiber in it, and spin, and see if that helps. I have a slub I don't like, so I'm going to unspin it a little. So yeah. Wind this on. So once you get a rhythm going, it's flick, draft, flick, sometimes flick again till you get enough. So flick, draft, wind on. Once you have enough to wind on, flick, draft, wind on. Sometimes it's flick, draft, then wind on. Whatever feels right. Whatever kind of spindle you have, if it's getting the twist quickly into your fiber, you may have a different rhythm. If it's a heavier spindle and you need more flicks to get the desired amount of twist in there, then do more flicks. All right, I've told you about the cops and winding on using a butterfly, starting the feeder, different types of spindles, types of fiber prep, roll-logs, ponies, just regular bats too. You can spin with top as well. You're going to want small chunks because, oh look, I'm going to do another butterfly. You're going to want small chunks because if you don't have like a wrist distaff where you can tuck your fiber in it, then the fiber source is going to want to curl up with the spindle as it spins if it gets too close. So little chunks, and the way you join, oh, there's a person back there. The way you join is the way you do a join for any fiber. You sort of lay them side by side. For this one, sometimes you can tease the new fiber alongside the old single on a spinning wheel. I recommend laying the two fiber sources side by side, putting twist into them, letting them come together. That's how I would do this. I can demonstrate that in a minute. While I'm winding on, let me talk about plying. I have plied on supported spindles. I find it awkward to flick the opposite way. I find it very awkward. So, for example, flicking this way, it's awkward. I prefer, if I'm traveling and I need to ply, then I ply on a drop spindle. It's possible to ply on a supported spindle, and some more ambidextrous people may not care, or they may not have that issue. All right, let me do a little join to show you. Bit of fiber. If you do want to ply on a supported spindle, I recommend using plying balls, or a plying ball. Say if you want a 2-ply, I will take a small bouncy ball or even a tennis ball. The size does not matter. And I take the 2 singles and wind them together. That way they're close together, they're easier to manage as I'm trying to get the ply twist into them. So, yeah, I don't have a demonstration right now, but it's really kind of just like it sounds. All right, so I'm going to join these two. I've laid them side by side. I'm going to put some twist. More twist. There we go. The join is in there somewhere around here. Let's wind that on, start a new temporary cup, and hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. It's fun for me to get back into spindling. Since I haven't been traveling a ton this summer as I usually do, there's not been a lot of spindling. This is a lot of fun, and as I said, just it's great for kicking back and relaxing. You can cross your legs, put your spindle bowl in a comfy spot. Sometimes I put it between my ankles as I'm sitting cross-legged and spin that way. Ooh, this is just gorgeous. So, I hope this helps. I hope you have spindling success and joy. Until next time, take care.